Once upon a time in Poland in 1729 was born one great woman. Her name was Ekaterina II Alexeyevna Velika, or just Ekaterina II. She was Russian Empress. Despite the fact that Ekaterina always was so busy with political affairs, she knew how to have fun. Nowadays that we know as roller coaster just few centuries ago was called Russian mountains. In 14th century, people in Russia had a unique type of entertainment. They used to slide from the top of a high hill on sled and enjoy the speed, adrenaline, and excitement of the ride. Later in 17th century, Yekaterina ordered to build first ever Russian mountains in Ironbound. As the idea to build the ride was based on 14th century sled riding. The Russian mountain was just ice construction started from 61 meters high hill and was 2,500 meters long. People used to slide from the top, and as they accelerate with high speed, they would reach was 51 miles per hour. At the end of the ride, person would slam on the sand and brake. That was the way Russian people enjoyed the cold winter days in the country. After a short period of time, the world got to know about amazing Russian mountains. They wanted to have fun too. So in a short period of time, roller coasters were built around the world and became one of the best entertainment ever.
Now we know historical background of Russian mountains. As it was just a wavy ride without any turns or twists, the graph of this ride can be simply modeled by one of trigonometric functions. Because the ride started from 61-meter high hill and was 2,500 meters long, with two hills in between, the model can be made using sine or cosine functions. As the ride starts from the top of a hill, we'll use cosine graph to model the ride. Let's look at general formula of cosine function. A, K, D, C values you see on the screen are all transformations of cosine x. And these transformations can be calculated using the following formulas. A being the maximum height and B being the minimum height. Sum of these values divided by 2 gives us C value, which is line of rest, and it's responsible for vertical shift of a graph. Subtraction of these two values divided by 2 will give us a value and its amplitude of the graph, or how much the graph is stretched or compressed vertically. Period T is equal to 2 pi over k. This k value determines horizontal stretch or compression of the graph. Last value D is determined by looking at the graph of function and comparing to original graph. For this value, we need to calculate phase shift of the function from original parent function. Let's just plug in numbers and find the values. Finding C and A values are easiest ones, and here are their solutions. Finding period in this case is a little bit tricky because it needs some physics to calculate the time needed to complete one cycle. We found t to be 39.2 seconds, and applying it in the formula we get the value for k. Now we know almost all the values that are needed to complete general formula. Let's plug in. Here is the formula that we got. And to find the last value d, by graphing parent function and transformant function, you will see that there is no phase shift, so d value is 0. Now our function is complete. To make sure that we're correct, let's look at its graph. Here we go. The ride starts at 61 meter high hill and have 2 hills before breaking point. After 110 seconds of this ride, people would have traveled 2,500 meters, and they would brake by slamming on the sand. The data is supported by graph, so our function formula is correct.